So, and then they sting us on a turnover, goalie turnover with a defenseman, and then they sting us off the rush. There's 3 goals right there, and we talked about it after the first period. I said, hey, this is, so when you get into a new playoff series, you're playing a different team, and you learn their style a little bit. I thought we adjusted to their style pretty well after the first intermission, and I thought we carried most of the game. They're a good hockey club. This isn't going to be easy. So, but then the other side of that is we have to get a little more greasy around their net. We had some opportunities to shoot some pucks, and we're looking for Cute, and Cute doesn't win in the playoffs, and that's an area we'll have to try and adjust going forward.
You saw the team adjust, get better throughout the game.
Yeah, I liked our second, third period. I thought we played them hard. They're a good team. They got four lines deep. They're deactivate. The one D scored the goal off the rush, the other D scored a goal around the net. So at the end of the day, we just got to find our game, which we did in the second and third, and then when we get a chance, we got to bury some chances. We had one in the power play. It rolls across the goal line, makes it a 3-2 game.
For some of the younger guys, what kind of learning moment can this be for them? It's like you mentioned, not going to be easy.
No, you wake up tomorrow morning and get ready for the next game. Move on.
Coach, a little bit of a reiteration of what you just said. Second and third period, I thought you totally outplayed those guys. Is that a message that you can have to the Firebirds going into Saturday night that, look, this is what we showed the latter 2 parts of the game?
Yeah, we'll talk about a short-term memory, like move on to the next game. It's playoff hockey. You're not going to win them all. And we'll have to take the good points of that game and move forward and get ready for Saturday night. So that's going to be it's a 5-game series now, right? So now you got to try and win 1 at home, or you're going to have to try and win 3 in Abbotsford, which is going to be a tough task. So we have to focus on the next game in hand. That's Saturday night.
Yeah, for a division rival, a little strange maybe that's a team you've seen just once in the last 3 months. Are they a lot different team than you saw, or do you think the Firebirds are a lot different team than you saw again just once in 3 months?
Well, when you lose 2 of your veteran hockey players from last game, with Fleury and Stevens out, that makes a big difference in your club. And they got 7 guys back from Vancouver, but I don't care about the numbers. At the end of the day, this is an opportunity for our guys that we have in the lineup to play, and we have to find a way to win. We have to squeak out a 2-1 win or a 1-0 win, and so we move on from this game, and we'll look at it. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Coach, thanks. Yes, like you said, that the first goal that they scored, that seemed like you were a little lamenting the non-call. What was the explanation you were given when you were sort of talking to the ref?
Well, they just thought it wasn't a penalty, so pretty simple.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to sit there and argue with him. He can't change his mind, so
right.
I'll save my energy for something else.
Okay, that makes sense. And then, it's kind of going off of what Judd just asked. This Abbotsford team obviously has been playing great these last 2 months. Is there something different about them that you can see having played them just now? No.
That's a tough question. We pre-scout them. We just played them last week. They haven't changed any different. They got like 5 guys down from Vancouver. They're a pretty good hockey club over there. They're big, they're strong, they're fast, and we have to find ways to counteract that. And we made a couple adjustments which worked for us. So we'll look at the film and get ready for Saturday night. But again, it comes back to finding a way to create more offense. And playoff hockey, it's dirty hockey. You have to put pucks to the net. You have to win battles around the net. You have to own that paint. And we did a little bit of it tonight, but not enough.
Thank
you. Coach, it seems like every period you guys came out strong in those first few minutes, made those adjustments during the period. Did they make adjustments after that? Because it did seem like you guys were doing some good stuff in those first early minutes.
Well, the one thing that I think caught us off guard was their physicality in the first period and the activation of their D. They really came at us and caught us off guard a little bit. And that's part of their systems, right? That's who they are. And so we got caught watching a little bit. But once we got, we jumped into the pool. We didn't dip our toes in the water in the second period. I thought we played with them. And so we have to have that mindset going forward on Saturday night. So we've played them hard all year. I think in the regular season, their team has changed going into the playoffs. And so we have to find a way to get around that. Good. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Ryan, outside of that few minutes there where maybe even just a minute, the mental mistakes, outside of that, you guys really picked up your game over that second and third period. Just how can you carry that momentum now into Saturday night?
Yeah, just play a full 60. And, I know everyone says it, but, it was literally 10 minutes that, we went through the motions a little bit, and, it cost you in playoffs. And you can't do that back-to-back games. You can't do that a couple times in a series, or, you're going home. So, we'll figure that out and come back hungrier. We'll be all right.
The power play is the elephant in the room, maybe. Just 0 for here in the playoffs as a whole, and even the 6-on-5 for a few minutes there at the end of the game. Just what's not working there for the advantage?
Yeah, I don't know. It's always a little touchy. Sometimes it's really hot. Sometimes it's cold. It happens. It's part of the game. I know everyone in that room, wants to score, wants to obviously do it. But, I think it's coming. It's just, sticking with what's working and just, bearing down when we get the chances.
Hey, Ryan, when you sort of talk to fans or feel the vibe in the arena, do you feel like there's a little bit of a pressure to succeed after knowing the team has gone on long runs in the playoffs before?
Yeah, I mean, there's pressure everywhere, especially when you're in playoffs. You as us players, you kind of live for pressure, and you kind of live for these moments. So, yeah, there's obviously pressure. There's pressure everywhere you go, but I think every guy in that room enjoys it and is ready to, get Saturday going.
Okay, and then if you could just sort of take us through your goal. Obviously, got a nice feed from Byro. Looked like a nice up and net. I don't know, what did you see out there?
Yeah, it was a great play, great up by Jonesy, and Beersy just patient player, really skilled. Found me on the it was kind of wide open net, so I didn't have to do anything hard. Just kind of put my stick down and bury it.
Thanks.
Ryan, did you feel that this version of the Canucks that you saw tonight decidedly different than the last time that you saw this team?
No, I think they're a good team. You're going to play good teams, in every series. It's the playoffs, and I wouldn't say it's any different than what we saw in the regular season. It's just, like I said, that 10 minutes where we kind of took our foot off the gas, and, they made us pay for it. They're a good team, and they can do that.
Amongst the Firebirds, I don't know if you had time just now after the game to kind of look at each other, talk in your room about the fact that periods 2 and 3, you guys outplayed them for sure, and how you can take that as momentum into Game 2 on Saturday. Yeah,
like I said, there's a lot of positives with our game tonight. It was, I keep saying it, but it was 10 minutes that we kind of had a mental lapse, and but we take those 2 periods, even the first bit of the first. I thought we were good, and it was just Firebirds hockey, just getting back on our game, and we'll be playing Firebirds hockey Saturday. Good. Thanks, guys.
Mel, you saw you guys, some of that frustration grow, but obviously you guys found your legs, started to play much better in the second and the third period. Just how do you carry that into the next game?
Yeah, I mean, I think we had a great second and third. We just need to play that same way. I mean, we came out kind of flat-footed, made a couple mistakes in the first that cost us, but the way we played in the second, we played with energy, we played with emotion, and that's how playoffs need to be played. And I think if we keep playing like that, we're gonna have a good outcome on Saturday.
Like said, maybe some of their physicality caught some guys off guard out of the gate. Just how do you guys counter with that?
Yeah, we need to play the same way. I mean, they're gonna throw their body, we need to throw it back and be ready for every hit, and I mean, counter bumps and all kinds of stuff like that.
I was wondering about if there's any sort of, especially with the guys that are back from the last couple of years, if there's any sort of pressure to have another long playoff run since the fans are used to that kind of thing. Is that something you guys talk about?
Yeah, I mean, we've obviously had pretty good success the last 2 years, but we just need to stay composed. I mean, use the pressure to our advantage, play with it, and I mean, I think we have a great team like the past 2 years, and we have a lot of potential. We've been here in the same spot. We've lost the first game last year against Calgary, so we know how to. We have a lot of guys from last year too, and we know how to bounce back from that. We just need to forget about this, move to Saturday, and get a win.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's a good reference, Jacob, about what happened last year in that Calgary series. You guys go into Saturday night with anything different? Any different mindset, any different preparation, scheme plan than you did for tonight?
No, I think we had the right game plan. Obviously, we came out a little bit flat-footed. They were running and gunning, and we just need to kind of come out with the same energy and run and gun ourselves, lay the body, and get physical off the start and kind of back them off. Perfect. Thank you.
Appreciate it.